Hello, everyone, and welcome to the November Consulting webinar provided by CDI. My name is Michael Mathis. I am the Client Services Director, and I will be the presenter for today's webinar, From Famine to Feast, Laserfiche Dashboards. If you have questions or need help during the presentation, please post any questions that you have in the questions box at any time. We will be available during the webinar as well as after the webinar to answer any questions that you do have. If there are any issues during the webinar, please feel free to raise your hand at any time and someone will address your question through the chat feature. Tips for success for today's webinar. Take notes and screenshots. I find during webinars, it's helpful to take a note of when the topic happened so that you can quickly find it in the recording afterwards. Don't be afraid to ask questions. We love to hear all of your questions. Please complete the survey afterwards. So after the webinar, you will receive a survey. Please definitely fill that in. We love to hear your ideas and all of your feedback. And this webinar will be recorded and available on the CDI YouTube page. The intended audience for today's webinar are Laserfiche Cloud administrators and Laserfiche Cloud power users. During our webinar, we will review the latest updates to dashboards and the home screen in Laserfiche Cloud. We will review operations dashboards. We will configure dashboards to visualize by value or label. We will see how to generate business process reports. We will learn how to use projects to control who can see process resources and reports, and learn how to do more with dashboards in Power BI. The latest updates in the Laserfiche home screen is the operational dashboard. This dashboard is now available in the home screen. If you select Home in the top left corner, you can select Operational Dashboards. And this dashboard contains pre-built reporting on any of your available business processes. The Operational Dashboards is available from the Home dashboard view. You can monitor a variety of process metrics all in one convenient summary view. You can keep tracks of tasks by user, duration, and team, and keep track of instances by stage if you utilize stages within your business process designer. Operational dashboards allow you to visualize different data either by the label or the value. And configuring these visualizations is as easy as clicking the ... button and changing your, or selecting Visualize to change your visualization settings. You are also able to download a graphic, so a PNG or a JPEG of the dashboard so that you can share it with other users easily. The Reports tab on the home screen lets you view statistics and reports about business processes, forms, documents, and authentication attempts. Business processes and forms reports, we have a variety of them available. You can select a specific forms instance or business process, rather, to view the reports for. You can change the current process you're viewing by selecting the drop-down in the top right corner and choosing one of the following or one of the available processes. The various reports available allow you to view different heat maps for task loads. You can view in-progress reports to see what instances are in progress and who is assigned to the task. You can view performance reports to visualize how long everything is in progress, user workload to see who is performing which tasks and how long they're in process, and a variety of other reports. Another new feature within Laserfiche Cloud is the ability to use projects. Projects allow you to create different teams and provide access to various resources to that team. This allows you to create dashboards available to those specific teams where team members are able to only see their own processes. A very great use case for this would be in an HR department where HR information is always very confidential. We could create a separate HR team and HR project within Laserfiche Cloud to restrict access to these processes and resources to only those members of the team. In addition to project resources, you can allow the project resource to be accessed by the global project. This will give you the capabilities of allowing other users that are not part of the team to assist with configuration, and the access can be restricted to a specific time span. Next, with Power BI, we can use Power BI for a variety of purposes, one of which is to visualize long-term historic data. So using Laserfiche Cloud or Laserfiche self-hosted, you can insert data into a SQL database for use with your Power BI reports. And this data can then be summarized to only the information that you need to maintain for long-term historical reporting. Other options would be to create a business process and or workflows to automatically capture data from various sources and insert that into your reporting source for Power BI. And Power BI is also available to additional users that may or may not have a Laserfiche license. This is subject to Microsoft licensing. However, if an executive doesn't have access to Laserfiche, they don't have a license, however, they use Power BI, this would still be available to that user. At this point, we will go through our live demonstration of these features available in Laserfiche Cloud. To get started, we have our Laserfiche Cloud home screen. To access your home page, you can click your Apps menu and select Home from the pop-up menu. This will bring you to your home screen where you can view a variety of information, such as my tasks completed this week, my active tasks, starred documents within the repository, document searches that you have saved, and available forms to complete. To access the operational dashboard, we'll select our Home menu and Operational Dashboard. We can view a dashboard for different processes by selecting the process that we would like to view from our dropdown. And we can even filter this down to a specific version of our process if we want to. If we look at our latest version, under tasks, we can see an overview of our different tasks. So there is 1 in progress, 12 have been completed, 0 suspended and terminated. We can download our graphic and select the file type to download as a JPEG or PDF. From the by user dashboard, this will show us our instances by user. If we click on our title bar, that will pop this out, and we can choose to sort by value or label. If we sort by label, this is going to sort our labels in alphabetical order. If we choose to sort by value, this will sort based on the number of tasks per user. The same is true for due by state. We can download our image. By team, we can also choose how we visualize our data here. If we move over to our Reports tab, this is where we have access to all of our fun reports available from Laserfiche Cloud. We can choose our project. So if we wanted to view just our AP team or our awesome project, we can choose one of those, or we can select our global project to view everything in our global project. To view a different process, we can change our process from our drop-down list. And by clicking the tile for the report, that will open up our report in a new tab and will give us information about our report. We are able to download our report data, again as a JPEG or a PDF. We can zoom in and out on our chart, scale to fit, and we can choose between different reports from our dropdown in the top right corner if we are already in a report. Under settings on the left, we can configure our report period. So here we're looking at this month. We can choose to view by year to date and select apply. And that will pull up information year to date. If we want an overview of our workload, we can choose the workload report. And this will show us who has completed tasks and who has in progress tasks for our designated settings. We can again change this to year to date. Currently, I'm winning. We change to year to date. We can see I'm not doing as well as I had thought. And Laura is winning. One of my favorite reports available through Laserfiche Cloud is the task loads report. This will give us a heat map visualizing how long tasks are in progress. So here we have 0. Our manager approval, we have 1 pending task, so it is in red. We can configure this to show tasks accumulated per day. And apply. And we can configure our threshold, which is going to determine when these turn from green to red. So if we go back to our current pending tasks and apply, we can have a minimum of 3. Oops, that's a 2, not a 3, and a maximum of 5. If we change our threshold here, we can see that we are now within our threshold for our number of tasks assigned to the users. If we go back to our app menu, we can choose our process automation option from the menu and navigate to Teams. This will allow us to create and maintain our teams that we have available within our Laserfiche Cloud account. If we take a look at our finance team, we can see here we have 2 members available, and we can configure if we want our task visibility available to all team members or hide team tasks from team members not assigned to the task. This is going to control the assignment within our business processes. Or rather, who can see those tasks from within our forms inbox. If we go back to home, I have 0 open team tasks, and I have 3 active tasks. If I change this to our AP project, I can still see my 3 active tasks, and this is filtered now to only my AP tasks. Back under our teams, if we select projects, this is going to allow us to organize access to our projects. If we select our AP project, we can see additional details. We can add project resources and edit our resources. Using various scopes for denying access to all global resources, allow access to all global resources, or to specific resources. So if we were to select our web services, specific resources, we can then add and search for a resource. So for example, a payment gateway. When we select update, that is going to update our access, and members of the AP team or project will now be able to see these global resources. If we needed to add additional users to our project, for example, we have our support user and we want to grant our support user access to our project to allow, say, a third-party vendor or your Laserfiche reseller to be able to manage these resources, we can grant resource access to other users by selecting our edit option here. So currently we have Kyle added. We can select our plus icon, and I am going to search for support user and add this user, and we will update to add our support user into our access. If we wanted to completely disable this access, we can do so easily by toggling our project access is enabled, and these users will no longer be able to access the project. If we re-enable, we can choose to revoke access at a specific time. So we can wait until the end of day, the end of the week, the end of the month, or a custom time. So if our project is going to be complete at the end of November, we can select November 30th at 5:00 p.m. So closing time on November 30th. And that will allow access to these users until that specific time. This can always be extended by changing the until date or the until option. Or it can always be disabled by toggling our project access option. Under team notifications, we can configure our notifications. So we have, for me, these are going to be my personal notifications. If I want to be notified when a task assignment has been changed, I can check my box to be notified in the web, which is going to give me a notification. Or I can be sent an email with either a daily digest, individual emails, or both. We can also configure the same for our team members. And here our team members are going to be notified through the web. And we can also send them a daily digest of task assignment changes and task completions. We will click Save to apply our changes, and our notifications will be provided through a daily digest and or email as appropriate. If we go back to our members list, we can configure who is a member of our team and provide specific rights and roles to those team members. By clicking the Add Member button, we can view our Add Users dialog and choose our users that we want to add. We can provide team member access or team member resource access roles to our members that we have selected. So if we don't check any options, members with no access roles will only be used for task distribution. These members will only be able to be assigned tasks. They won't be able to do anything else. We can assign the analyst role, where the members can view data submitted in those resources. The team developer role allows users to create and edit the team's resources. The team manager role can edit the team, its projects, and determine resource access. And finally, the viewer role can view but not edit the team's resource. These viewers cannot see data submitted within these resources. When we select Add, our users are then added into our finance team. And these users will then be able to see our projects on their Laserfiche Home tab. That concludes the live demonstration for today's webinar. If you do have any questions, you can always ask the CDI team or use the following resources from Laserfiche Answers, the Laserfiche Solutions Exchange, Laserfiche Support, or the CDI YouTube channel. Please always feel free to contact us at consulting, sales, or support at citiesdigital.com. And thank you again for attending our live webinar today. If you do have any questions, please post them into the questions box, and we will be available to answer any questions that you do have. We do have questions coming in. One question we have is, how do we run reports from the data that is already entered? That would be a custom report where we can, if we go to our business processes and report, we have access to our same reports that were available. I am missing this on the spot. There we go. Let's go to reports. Process automation custom reports. There we go. That's where we get to our custom reports. And here we can configure various other reports within Laserfiche Cloud. So for example, I have my AP vendor by name. And here I'm going to be showing the sum of our invoice amount grouped by our document date. We can choose different types of visualizations for our report. So we can choose a column, line, area, bar, pie, or table. And switching between them will update our graphics as appropriate. We can change the colors assigned with various pre-built themes, or we can customize. And again, we can download our graphic as a PNG or a PDF. We have options where we can include our filtering or ignore our filtering as well. Report properties, we can change our name if we wanted to. So I could rename this to AP by document date and update. And now my report name accurately reflects what my data is displaying. We have a question, can you build a team in Forms? Is this within a self-hosted Forms instance or a Cloud Forms instance? Within Laserfiche Cloud processes, our teams are slightly independent from our business processes. However, if we were to go into a process or review information, we can assign to a team. And here we can select one of our teams that we had created. And here are the various members that are able to be assigned tasks. Does that answer your question? We have a question of, is there a way to share actual documents from your repository with the team? The documents are going to be subject to access rights So this would be the documents that we are able to see here are subject to the access rights within our repository. If we were to go into our repository, we can manage access rights, so say our accounting folder. Within access rights, we can add a trustee from either a group or a user. Unfortunately, we are not able to utilize teams for access rights within our repository. Do we have any additional questions that we would like to cover today? I don't see any additional questions coming in the questions area. If you do have additional questions, I always think of my best questions right after the webinar ends. Please don't hesitate to reach out to CDI or to your Laserfiche reseller. And if you are watching this on YouTube, once it is up there, don't forget to click that like button and subscribe. Thank you everyone for attending the webinar and enjoy the rest of your day.